Shoshin, very interesting word, Shoshin. Shoshin. So now the question is what the Shoshin is all about. What exactly is the thing which has been there? So let's listen to it carefully, what I'm trying to say. This philosophy say that our biggest hurdle in our life to learn and grow is, you know what? Our biggest hurdle to learn and grow is what? Is our expert mindset. Our expert mindset is our biggest roadblock. What does it mean by expert mindset? Expert mindset is a totally an opposite of a concept which is called a beginner's mindset. It is totally an opposite of a beginner's mindset. Now, what is a beginner mindset? If I ask you, if you reflect upon some of your experiences, for example, during the childhood when we have been gone through so many different interesting experiences and we have learned a lot, and one of the experiences which has just came into my mind, you remember when we were trying to learn the bicycle? What was the level of excitement we have been having at that time? Just imagine that. What was the type of happiness we have been getting? What type of the focus we are having onto that? Do we have any barriers at that time? Do we have any sort of fear of failures in our mind at that time? What is going to happen? We just saw the thing, we jump onto it, and we just try to make it happen. And there was no embarrassment, there is nothing like that. And we have been so curious, so focused, so interesting to learn it, that it doesn't matter that how many number of times we fall in, how many number of times when ultimately we started. It is the same thing with any aspect of when we are having a beginner mindset on anything. We learn a lot, we grasp a lot, and we have actually an interesting learning trajectories. We are going to learn a lot out of that process when we get into the mode of a beginner's mindset. Now, on contrary, what happened when we have grown into our experiences? So for example, if I'm been saying, all right now I'm having a 30 years of my experience. There's a lot of experiences which I've gathered. Now, anything which comes new for me, what happened? What happened with the expert mindset? Instantly, I do the validation of that experience. Oh, in my previous experiences, whatsoever I have seen, whatsoever I've experienced, this is something new. I don't think it is going to workable because out of so many of my years at my back, I've never seen that it's been happen. So what happened? In an expert mind, any new concept just come in and they rebound back. They came in and they rebound back because the validation is happening in my mind all the time that in my previous experiences, whether there is workable or not, it is not going to be acceptable. This is not going to be, I've never seen such a practice. So this validation, being an expert mind, is my biggest roadblock, which hold me back not to learn anything new, because anything which comes, I try to reconcile with my previous experiences. And because there's a lot of technology is changing, a lot of interesting stuff is changing. You might have heard similarly myself, whenever people say, all right, now the things are changing on the digital, and we have said this thing number of times. I'm not technology driven. I'm not that sort of tuned in. Why I'm not? Because in my previous years, I've not experienced it, and I'm having an expert mind, because in that expert mind, I have a lot of fear of failure, because I don't want to look odd in front of the people that I've tried something after so many years of my experience and I failed. So this expert mindset is my biggest barrier over here. But when I go with a beginner mindset and any new things, even which I know about it, for example, if I'm been into the training and learning business for so many years, but today, even if I come for a learning experience, I say, today I'm going to focus on what is the one new things I have to learn today. Although I'm doing it on every day, I have done it hundreds and thousands of sessions, but every day when I come in and I think about it, what is the one new things I'm going to learn today? So I got into the beginner mindset, and beginner mindset enhanced my experience all the time, because it creates the possibility for myself that whatsoever the new experiences are been coming in, it just goes into my mind, and actually I learn and grow out of that as well. So what is the most important part, my dear friends, what I'm going to share with you? If you want a breakthrough right today, right in this moment, so I would recommend that from today onward, any of your projects, any of your activities, any of the things which you have already been much accustomed to, even approached the same experience with a beginner mindset and thought about it, today I'm going to learn something new about it. And when you focus on learning something new, I can bet on that you are going to have something exciting over there. And when you go into that experience and you learn from that what exactly is the aspect I'm going to get it from today. So when you are having that sort of beginner mindset, this is going to create a lot of mega shift in your thought process. And beginner mindset has one interesting phenomena which I'm going to talk about it, that there is no fear of failure over here, there is no embarrassment over here, there is no judgment over here. We are not judging the things. We are just trying to get the best out of the experiences, and even if it has not been succeeded, we have learned something interesting to know that in this way it doesn't work, something else can be worked. I remember I have already highlighted this thing number of times, that in our life, there is no failure in life, there is only feedback. So if I'm trying to achieve something, if I'm been doing parenting in some way and I'm not getting the desired result, I'm not a failure. My method of parenting is failure, and I have to learn what are the new methods, what are the new techniques, what are the new processes in which I can do an effective parent or can do an effective management all around. So whenever you are having a beginner's mindset, you are always seeking for these possibilities. What is new available? What exactly I can change within myself? Now, when you operate from an expert mindset, then you become rigid, and all the time you have been trying and you have been rebounding, and here the failure happened. So the most important things, my dear friends, the most important aspect is that we have to change our mindset from expert to a beginner mindset. Now, one of the interesting things which I also have to add on with this concept, which is called, in order to a beginner mindset, what philosophy is actually can help you a lot. This is called that whenever you started doing something and you want to learn, then what is the main aspect you can learn over here? So let's look into that. I hope you have familiar with the concept, another Japanese concept, which is called a Kaizen. You can apply this concept towards all your learning experiences, and you have a major breakthrough compounding effect into the learning and the experience you have been getting. Now, when I talk about Kaizen, Kai in Japanese word means change, and Zen is for good. So something change for good mean that we are been doing something for the purpose of achieving a better results, and that is the concept in Kaizen. I'm not going to go into the detail and the mechanics of what are the things which are being applied from an organizational context. I've been taking the concept and to apply on a personal level how this concept can help us in our personal life. So Kaizen concept talk about a continuous improvement. I hope you are being all of you are being familiar with that. It is called continuous improvement. Now, how can we make a continuous improvement? There are two ways in which we can make a continuous improvement. I can show you in an example of a ladder. So for example, this is a ladder, one ladder, and it has so many, I'm going to say, you can see that it has so many of the steps over here, and smaller scale steps are over here, which in this ladder. Now I build another ladder, and I build another ladder, and I can show you that this is another ladder, and it has not many of those steps over here, and it is just having a 3 steps over here. Now question is, if you have to climb the ladder, which ladder is easy to climb over? Which ladder is easy to I'm going to say go over? Absolutely. Answer is simple. This ladder is very easy to be climbed over. Why? Because it has a small scale incremental steps. Without any much of the pain you can take and you can reach over here. But when you look into that, this is about only 3 steps, but there is huge amount of effort required to reach to the next level, and that is the level. You know, my dear friend, that is the reason why we give up on our goals. That is the reason when we have a big audacious goals in front of us and we are not being able to achieve that, instantly the brain, which is being designed on fight or flight, it goes back into the survival mode, and we get back ourselves. When we try to achieve some of the goals in our life, if we do not go with the continuous improvement and with the small steps included with the beginner mindset to experiment all the things, we go with our bigger goals with an expert mindset. Here the failure happens, because here the fear of failure actually hold us back, and that is the reason we are not being able to achieve much in life. So what is the one thing which we have to change today? What is the one thing in which we can focus today? I would say adopt a beginner mindset, go with the Kaizen philosophy, identify your one thing in which you want to improvise, and take on a daily basis small scale steps which are not threatening to you. Some of